All right, are you ready? Today we're going deep on business models.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Whether you're, prepping for a meeting or just curious how companies work.
Or if you're like me and you just love learning about this stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
this is the place to be.
We're going to unpack how companies make money.
The strategies behind those familiar names we see every day.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This deep dive is going to be your secret weapon for understanding, the whole business landscape.
And some names you might not know yet, but we'll soon be talking about.
Oh, for sure. We'll be checking out those traditional companies, the brick-and-mortar stores.
Right, yeah.
And then all the disruptors like Amazon, Facebook, all those online companies that have changed the game entirely.
Huge.
Yeah. Oh, and get this.
What?
We're going to uncover a business model that's making a comeback from, wait for it, pre-industrial times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you'll have to wait to find out what that one is.
All right, I'm intrigued.
By the end of this, you'll be dropping knowledge bombs in any conversation and understand how businesses around you really work.
I love it. So let's get started with the basics.
Okay, sounds good.
What exactly is a business model? It's like the DNA of a company.
Okay.
It's the blueprint for how a business makes its product, delivers it to customers, and how they make money.
I like that. So it's more than just selling something.
Way more. It's understanding the whole ecosystem.
So it's like a recipe. You need the right ingredients to create a delicious dish.
Exactly.
Instead of flour and sugar, we're talking about value proposition, target customers, revenue streams.
Yes. And like a good chef who adjusts their recipe based on, what they have or who they're cooking for, a business model can't just stay the same.
Right.
It needs to adapt to the market, technology, and how people are behaving.
Yeah, those are always changing.
That's how companies stay ahead.
Okay, that makes sense. So when a business owner is sketching out their business model, what are some questions they should ask?
Well, first they need to define their goal.
Oh, okay, so are they trying to make as much money as possible?
Yeah, maximize profits.
Or are they focused on, social impact or something?
Maybe it's a blend of both.
Interesting.
This core objective will decide everything else they do.
Yeah, the why is crucial, for sure. But then they need to figure out the what, right? What are they actually bringing to the table?
Absolutely. What product or service are they offering?
Right.
Are they dealing in tangible goods, digital services, or something totally new? And how does this offering solve a problem or meet a need for their ideal customer?
Ah, yes, the customer. They got to figure out exactly who they're trying to reach.
You got it. What are their demographics, their preferences, their pain points?
So much to consider.
A successful business model caters to its target audience.
If you try to sell to everyone, you'll end up selling to no one.
Exactly. You need to know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Then comes the how. What channels will they use to reach those customers? The internet. Stick with traditional stores or blend the two.
Ah, so many choices.
Right.
And of course, all this costs money, right?
Yes. Production, marketing, distribution.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
Got to keep the lights on.
Exactly. A good business model considers all costs while ensuring a profit margin.
Makes sense, so you don't go broke.
Yeah. And then there's the question. Build something from scratch or use an existing framework like a franchise.
So many options.
And speaking of options,
Okay.
online businesses have absolutely exploded recently.
Oh, yeah. Companies like Facebook, Google, YouTube are a part of our everyday lives now.
Totally.
We Google everything.
Right, we Facebook our friends, they've become verbs.
Exactly.
That's a successful online model. Global reach, connecting with billions
Oh.
without needing stores in every city.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So much lower overhead costs,
Yeah.
easier to grow quickly.
It's insane how they connect with so many people. Spotify, for example, has that freemium model.
Right.
You can choose a free version or pay for premium, no ads. They've changed the music industry. And then eBay, connecting buyers and sellers all over the world.
Such a good example.
Uh-huh.
Online marketplaces have revolutionized how we buy and sell stuff.
It's wild. Small businesses can now compete with the big guys on a global scale because of these online marketplaces.
It's leveled the playing field.
And that's just the beginning. There are subscription boxes, online courses, crowdfunding.
The options are endless.
It feels like the Wild West out there, constantly changing and pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, it is.
But it can't all be good, right?
Well, you're right. There are some downsides.
Like quiet.
Cybersecurity is a major concern for online businesses.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
They have to constantly protect their data and their platforms from hackers.
Makes sense.
It's a constant battle.
Right. And let's be honest, sometimes you just can't beat physically interacting with a product before you buy it.
That's a good point.
Feeling a fabric, smelling a candle, the weight of a tool, those are things you can't experience online.
I totally agree. And that brings us to brick-and-mortar businesses. Your local bookstore, that smell of old books in the atmosphere, or a farmer's market.
I love a good farmer's market.
All right, it's all about our senses and connecting with people.
Yeah, it's a different experience for sure.
Totally different.
There's something special about that, right? Like connecting face to face
Yeah,
builds trust in a way online shopping just can't.
for sure.
But you know, those brick and mortar businesses, they're facing some tough competition,
Yeah.
especially with online retailers being so convenient and often cheaper.
Absolutely. It's a tough market for them.
It is, but a lot
Fair.
of them are getting really creative.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're adapting, finding ways to kind of offer the best of both worlds.
Okay.
You know, like Woolworths, for instance. They've got online shopping and delivery,
Right.
but they also have the physical stores,
Mm-hmm.
so you can order your groceries online and pick them up,
Oh, that's nice.
or just have them delivered.
Yeah.
It's that bricks and clicks model. Really smart.
Super smart. It gives people options.
Well, exactly. Okay, but now, for what I mentioned before,
Okay.
the business model making a comeback from way back.
Oh, yeah, the pre-industrial one, right?
Yes, direct-to-consumer businesses, DTC.
Okay.
It's like, remember when businesses sold directly to their communities?
Mm-hmm.
That model is making a resurgence.
Wow, that's really interesting how that's coming back around.
I know, it's like e-commerce and social media have given those DTC businesses a new platform.
Right.
They can reach customers directly.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. No more retailers or wholesalers, just straight to the consumer.
Wow.
It's all about transparency now, you know, sustainability, personalized experiences.
I see. And those DTC brands are nailing it.
They are. Consumers want to know where their stuff comes from,
Hmm.
who made it, and what the company stands for.
For sure.
Like, take the story of Alicia Kidd and Adam Burrows.
Okay.
Former miners turned entrepreneurs.
Wow, that's a change.
I know, right? They started this farm fresh produce subscription service.
Really?
Yeah, they deliver straight from their farm to people's homes.
So cool. It's farm to table, but like a subscription?
It is. Perfect example of DTC.
Yeah.
They cut out the middleman.
Right.
They control everything. From farm to table, guarantee quality, freshness, and fair prices.
Yeah, and strong relationships with customers.
Exactly. And they share their story and values on social media.
Smart.
People love supporting local and sustainable.
It's a win-win for everyone.
It really is. See, DTC has some great advantages.
Like what?
Businesses get direct feedback from customers. They can tailor their products.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
They control their brand messaging, the customer experience.
Right.
And since they cut out the middleman, they often have more flexibility with their pricing.
Makes sense.
Could mean lower costs for customers.
I like it.
So yeah, it's a model that seems to benefit everyone.
I agree.
But I'm sure there are challenges too.
yeah, probably.
Imagine having to handle everything yourself. Production, marketing, distribution.
Oh, that would be a lot.
It would. And for those online DTC businesses,
Yeah.
cybersecurity is even more important.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They got to protect customer data.
Big responsibility.
It is. Okay, let's switch gears a bit.
Sounds good.
Talk about a model that's everywhere we look, franchises.
Franchises, yeah.
Think about it, fast food chains like Subway, McDonald's,
Right.
even convenience stores like 7-Eleven, they're everywhere.
Franchises are everywhere. They're a fascinating model built on replication and that brand recognition. You've got the franchisor, who owns the business concept and brand,
Right.
and then the franchisee, who buys the rights to use the name and operate a branch.
Like a recipe for success that gets shared and repeated.
Exactly. And it works out for both sides.
How so?
Well, for the franchisor, it's a way to expand really quickly.
Makes sense.
They don't have to manage each location.
Oh, I see.
They get royalties from each franchisee, so it's passive income. And for the franchisee, they're tapping into a proven model.
Yeah.
They get the brand recognition, the operating procedures, and often support with marketing and training,
Oh, wow, that's great.
like a head start.
It is.
Think about Gelatissimo, the Australian gelato chain.
Oh, I love Gelatissimo.
Right, their gelato is
The
amazing.
pistachio flavor is incredible. I had it in Rome.
See? That's the power of a successful franchise.
Yeah.
A consistent brand no matter where you are.
Exactly. The founders, Domenico and Marco Lopresti,
Yeah.
they knew franchising was key to their success.
And it worked.
They focused on high-quality ingredients, a welcoming atmosphere.
And that's been replicated in every franchise.
It's a great story.
It is.
But I imagine there are some downsides to being a franchise too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have to follow the franchisor's rules,
Right.
which could limit what you can do.
True, it's a trade-off. You get the proven system, but less autonomy.
Right.
You pay ongoing royalties, too, which impacts profit.
Makes sense. And I bet there are restrictions on things like, prices, menu changes, marketing.
Exactly. It's not the best fit for someone who wants complete control.
Right. It's got to be a good fit for both sides.
Totally. Okay, let's shift to a more global scale now.
Okay.
Talk about a model that connects producers and consumers across borders, import and export businesses.
Oh, yeah, import and export.
With globalization and fewer trade barriers, this model has become huge.
I can imagine. It's amazing how many goods and services flow between countries.
It is. It connects us all through commerce.
Like, did you know 97% of Australia's international trade happens via shipping?
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a massive amount of stuff coming in and going out.
It shows how efficient global trade is.
It does. So importers bring goods from overseas.
Yeah.
Consumers get more variety, and often at lower prices.
They can find unique things we might not have here.
Makes sense.
They meet specific demands.
Exactly. And then exporters send Australian goods out to the world, expanding to new markets.
Contributing to the economy.
It's all about supply and demand, but on a global scale.
It really is. Of course, there are challenges, too.
Oh, I bet. Like what?
Well, importers have to deal with regulations, tariffs, and quality control to make sure things meet standards.
Right, that makes sense.
And exporters face things like currency changes, political instability, and logistical problems like shipping delays.
Shipping delays are the worst.
They are. So yeah, it's a high-stakes game.
It sounds like it.
It requires planning, risk assessment, and a deep understanding of international markets.
Wow. It's really amazing to think about all these systems working together.
It is.
Like, just buying something can have effects all over the world. It really makes you think about how connected we all are, huh?
It does, yeah.
This whole web of commerce always growing and changing.
It's a dynamic system, for sure. And with technology changing so fast, we can expect even more innovation in how businesses work.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It's a great time to be an entrepreneur.
Or just someone who loves to learn about business.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's recap what we've covered today.
Sounds good.
We started by defining a business model, that DNA of a company, the blueprint for how it all works.
Right, the foundation.
And we talked about those key elements, the goals, the offerings, target customers, the costs.
All the important stuff.
We explored online giants like Facebook, Google, Spotify, how they've used technology to change entire industries.
It's incredible, really.
We talked about the challenges they face, like cybersecurity and the need to keep innovating.
To stay ahead.
Then we shifted gears to those brick-and-mortar businesses, the ones that offer that tangible human experience.
The ones we love.
We discussed how they're adapting, blending online and offline strategies like Woolworths does.
Right, finding that balance.
Then we dug into the direct-to-consumer model, DTC. That blast from the past that's back in a big way.
Like Alicia and Adam's produced delivery service.
Exactly. Building those direct relationships with customers.
Transparency and sustainability.
And then we talked about franchises.
Yeah, Subway, McDonald's, they're everywhere.
Those brands with their logos and systems.
That rapid expansion, but less freedom for the individual.
Right, the trade-off. And finally, we zoomed out to the global level, those import and export businesses.
Connecting the world through commerce.
Navigating regulations, logistics, all of that.
It's a complex world out there.
It is. It's been quite a journey, so many different models. Hopefully we sparked some curiosity.
I hope so.
But before we wrap up, I have one last question.
Shoot.
With technology changing so quickly,
Yeah.
what new business models do you think we'll see in the future?
That's a good question.
Right.
Well, imagine businesses operating in the metaverse.
Cool.
Selling virtual products and experiences.
That's crazy.
Right. Or maybe AI-powered businesses that personalize everything to a level we can't even imagine right now.
The possibilities are mind-blowing.
They really are.
We encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never lose that entrepreneurial spirit.
You never know, you might be the one to create the next big thing.
That's it for our deep dive into the world of business models.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope you've enjoyed it and learned some valuable insights along the way.
Until next time. Keep those entrepreneurial brains buzzing.